Meghan, she will talk about her childhood in, I think, highly suspicious ways. We only have got, she tells us she's about to come up on her 7-year anniversary, which means we've known her now for almost 10 years. Okay. We've been living through this long global nightmare for 10 years. We always hear about the dinner tray story, right? She's eating TV dinners because she was so neglected as a kid, but she was watching Jeopardy. So we know she's highly intelligent, and that she has issues with some of her grades in school as an elementary school kid. Okay. This is it. This is all she gives us, but it's telling us something about her. So let's listen to her talking about a childhood report card that she recently discovered, as if they're not in a special fucking box she got at the Container Store marked report cards.
And I found an old report card from when I was at Hollywood Schoolhouse. Maybe I was probably Archie's age. Oh, yes, because our kids got their report cards. So I was thinking about memory lane with that. I'll get back to your question in a second, but you'll like this, where you're going through, and that's when grades weren't A, B, C, D at that age.
Yeah.
It's right, satisfactory, unsatisfactory, or I don't know what the best one would be, but it came to ability to throw and catch a ball, not applicable. Oh my God. It's well, I'm a great runner if someone's chasing me. Otherwise, just not the most athletic.
She's a great runner if someone's chasing her, like the British royal family. Actually, that didn't entail running. That just, I think, entailed calling Tyler Perry and asking for his private jet. But you guys, okay, the beginning of that clip where she's like, oh my God. It's so inauthentic. This is why she was never going to be more than a D-list actress on a basic cable show. The one thing she is dying to sell to us is relatability. The one thing she is dying for more than anything is for us to love her and want to be like her. And she can't get it across the finish line. And all of this is exhibit A as to why. And by the way, Jamie sitting there petting her hair, that's a professional hairstylist who did that job. I'm telling you right now, it absolutely is. So stop it with this. We're just sitting in our living room, in our cozies, barefoot, spilling our secrets and emanating girl power and making your lives better. Okay, moving on. We are going to the beginnings of, again, the world has waited, right? The beginnings of the nicknames that Meghan and Harry have for each other. Now, I don't really know or care that he calls her M. Frankly, I don't believe it. I think he probably is calling for help at this point. But we are learning how she came to call him, as she does in every single interview, because she has to remind us that she has a proximity to him that none of us have. Who wants it, lady? None of us. H. Here's the origin story of that.
People didn't know we were dating for, talk about memory lane, so long ago. I mean, it'll be our 7-year wedding anniversary soon. I couldn't tell anyone who I was dating, and he was keeping. So I think we were just on a letter basis.
Yeah.
And then it stuck.
It stuck.
It stuck. Yeah.
Yeah. And still to this day.
Yeah, I like it.
We'll all be on a play date, or we'll be somewhere. There'll be tons of people there, and he'll say M and you'll say H, and your friends say M, and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it? It's just natural.
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot. I love nicknames.
I wish I could share the particulars of this story, but that what passes for conversation there, that utter banality, reminded me of a good friend of mine who found himself at a private dinner with those two. Okay? They are ridiculous. And conversating is like moving a boulder up a mountain. It is impossible. There is no there. And by the way, as we are just, doing each other's hair and having some mom wine and mom time, let's not talk about the bullying allegations against Meghan that have never really gone away. Let's not talk about Dr. Sophie Chandaka leaving Harry's beloved charity formed in memory of his mother, and as a Black woman leveling these accusations against Harry and Meghan for bullying. she can't be taken down by those two because she's a woman of color. So Meghan can't play the race card. And by the way, she's not talking to Us Weekly. She's talking to the Financial Times. That's how you know this woman means business. And Jason Nuff, who used to work for William and Kate, has also been on record saying those two were bullies. They bullied two palace staffers out of a job. But instead, we're hearing Meghan tell her friend Jamie, or Jamie talk about Meghan, and telling us that Meghan, by wearing a brand of jeans, I'm not making this up, I'm not exaggerating or editing for comic effect, that Meghan, by wearing a brand of jeans, has gotten women out of human trafficking. Okay. We also hear from Meghan, I love a handwritten note. She saves them all. The banality is, I'm at a loss for words, which is a rare thing. Okay, now these two purveyors of privacy, these two people who bang the drum about their privacy, they need their privacy, the headlines are too much. Meghan almost became suicidal. She wanted to kill herself. First of all, let's take a look at, we're getting closer, you guys, to seeing the children, because we've got merch to move and things are not going well. So let's take a look at this little reel that Meghan dropped on Instagram yesterday morning.
What do we think, Lily?
I think it's beautiful.
I have two theories. One, I think that's a voiceover artist, like, a Pamela Adlon, like the ones who's, their specialty is doing kids, because it sounds a little too like, oh, that sounds so beautiful. By the way, it's eerily reminiscent of her interviewer's voice, of Jamie Lynn's voice. Jamie Lynn talks like this. And what I love are grown women who talk like this, like they just injected some helium and everything's okay, there's that. And I have a theory, and you guys, I realize this may sound unkind, but I think we are all among friends here, and like there's truth to it. This is nothing to do with actual children who really should. This is about Meghan. These children, if she really fled the royal family because she wanted her children to grow up in a life that did not require media attention, what she is doing is not the truth. And here is what I think about Meghan, because I think she is a malignant narcissist who is a truly terrible person. And you're going to hear proof of this in the next clip. If Meghan Markle thought her children were as beautiful as she is, we'd see their faces. Okay, let's hear all about the very private letter that Harry wrote about Meghan that they're going to share on this podcast.
Your husband just shared publicly for the first time. He said, I'm so happy for my wife and fully support absolutely everything she's done and continues to do.
When did he say that?
This week. It's everywhere in the press. Yeah, it's beautiful. But so you don't know this. Okay, so you're hearing this for the first time.
That's sweet.
That's sweet. What? This went public? This went public. This is a woman who wrote a letter to her father, and this came out in a court battle that I believe she launched. And part of those communiques were to one of her media people about word choice in said letter, personal, allegedly private, to her father, Thomas. And there was a part of the communications where she said, I never really called him daddy. I know I'm calling him that in the letter, but I think I should keep it, because if this letter leaks, which I think it's going to, okay. So she's really writing it for public consumption. She's going to pretend it's private. And then when it becomes public, she's going to feign outrage and sadness at yet another betrayal, another dagger in the heart. But when it becomes public, I feel that the word daddy, I believe these were her exact words, will really pull at the heartstrings. You will never convince America. The Brits are onto you. America's onto you. The world at large is onto you. You're never going to convince anyone that you're authentic. Who actually authored that letter that just got read? I think one Meghan Markle was standing right there with Harry. She probably had her calligrapher's pen and she's writing, like, Harry, again, find your balls wherever they are, find them. You're writing a letter that's just all about how much you admire your wife. By the way, sans specifics, which I love. That says to me that he's checked out. Next, Meghan is going to tell us. This is the last one, and it is, no, actually, there's one more. Okay, she's going to tell us about what she is doing for her children so that her children, when they grow up, will be in awe of how amazing their mother was.
So I'd created for the kids these email addresses that sort of like names again that you would never guess that I will give them at some point in their lives when they're older. But before I go to bed almost every night, I email them.
Wow.
I email because it doesn't have to be a heavy lift, and you email them like, here's your report card from today, or oh my gosh, you said the funniest thing this morning, or here's a picture of you two having breakfast, or here's you playing with the dog. The things that you're not going to frame, the things that you're not going to put pen to paper in a journal, but they will end up at one point in their life, maybe when they're 16 or when they're 18, that I say, here's an email that I've been keeping for you.
I have full body chills right now.
For your whole life. And here's everything and every moment that I wanted to tell you how much I love you and like how proud I am of you. And of all things, it's making me emotional.
So Meghan is telling us that just about every night she's writing letters to her children so that when they're older, and let's be real, they hate her. They fucking hate her. They can't get away fast enough. They're changing their names. They're going to schools under assumed identities, and they're going to get jobs on the East Coast, if not out of the country, so that they have a viable excuse for seeing her maybe once a year. So when they grow up and they open these letters, or perhaps, in the event of her untimely death, which, she probably fantasizes about becoming a new Diana, because there was another thing that she says in this podcast, which is that she was having a conversation with someone who informed her that her future had been written before she was ever born. Okay? It was basically saying that her fate had been predetermined. She was born for greatness. And she answers like an asshole, like a Hollywood asshole, using verbiage that only rich Hollywood assholes use. She's like, well, could I I didn't get the specifics of that deal memo. Can I redline that? Which is like, it's what you do. You give your lawyer something and to look at, and he makes these red lines in the document to say we'd like to strike this out, or we'd like to add this into the deal. The average person has no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Jesus Christ. Are you redlining these notes to your kids? So anyway, so they can grow up and be in awe of her, and it's all just the worst. And by the way, as for this grand love story that she's telling with Harry and how they had to name each other H and M because they were dating in secret and they weren't, I guess WhatsApp wasn't available back then, so they couldn't write each other's names out. It's not like Harry and Meghan are such unique names that the world is going to explode with joy when they find out these two have gotten together, this brain trust that's going to change the world.